Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story. It has been barely a month since Liz Truss took over the reins from Boris Johnson as the UK's Prime Minister. And it seems that she is already facing multiple crises on the economic and political front. While her political ratings have fallen to an all-time low on one hand, her economic policies have remained a non-starter in terms of providing any tangible relief to the common people. To make matters worse, her recent tax cuts have only fueled further discontent and outrage. The UK Prime Minister was quick to respond to the situation. Truss concedes that her government should have laid the ground better for last month's debt-fueled mini-budget, which saw tax cuts for the wealthiest and prompted a market turmoil.
There is an issue that interest rates are going up around the world, and we do have to face that, and we do have to do that. But I do want to say to people, I understand their worries about what has happened this week, and I do stand by the package we announced, and I stand by the fact that we announced it quickly because we had to act. But I do accept we should have laid the ground better. I do accept that.
You accept you should have laid the ground better.
I have learnt from that. I have learnt from that, and I will make sure that in future we do a better job of laying the ground.
The latest mini-budget announcement from the Conservative Party government caused massive economic shocks. The British pound fell to an all-time low against the dollar, and investors lost billions as the stock markets tanked. This came on the back of an already worsening cost of living crisis, skyrocketing inflation, and soaring energy bills. The simmering discontent of the people manifested on the streets of London. As recently as on Saturday, thousands of protesters rallied in London and elsewhere around Britain over the cost of living crisis. Demonstrators, aligned with various organisations, gathered in large numbers to block roads and bridges in London. The huge price increases to electricity and gas bills, which came into effect at midnight on Friday, triggered the protests.
A lot of workers and a lot of people that are working in this country have had enough. They've had enough of not working full time and not being able to pay their energy bills and not be able to put food on the table. And it's not just going to be these guys. Other people in other sectors as well have had enough, and that is why everyone's come out in solidarity today, because I think people can relate to it.
Now, and making sure there's a broad popular movement, not just around pay, but benefits. Just the cost of living, like prices, like in general. And I feel that's really beginning to be built now. It's been a long time coming, but like you can feel the energy here at this rally, like it's really electrifying.
So the pressing question now is, will a mere acknowledgement of shortfalls in policy fix the real problems of the people? Will a plainly worded apology bring back millions lost from investors' pockets? Or will it contain a soaring inflation? Now, to find answers to some of these crucial questions, Jonathan List joins us from London. Jonathan is a senior journalist and deputy director of a British think tank. Thank you for being with us, Jonathan. So what really happened? Why is the UK economy in the doldrums?
The basic answer is that the markets don't have any confidence in Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng's ability to manage the economy. They just don't think that they know what they're doing. So when Kwarteng announced that massive package of tax cuts and huge increase in borrowing without any means to pay for them, it just seemed as though they were kind of playing ideological games with the economy. And that's why they took fright. That's why the pound crashed. That's why interest rates have gone up. That's why the Bank of England had to step in to rescue pension funds, which would have caused a full-scale financial crisis if they hadn't done that. And so I don't see what Truss can do now, because she has shown that she is entirely ideological and that the markets don't actually like it, even though she's purporting to act for them.
Right. Just to understand, the tax cuts were in good stead. They were meant to insulate Britons from the soaring inflation. But why has it backfired?
So I'm not sure that the tax cuts were meant to curb inflation, because often tax cuts actually increase inflation because they give people more money in their pockets and then they spend more and then inflation rises. They were there supposedly to promote growth. But the problem is, even if you accept the basic premise that the tax cuts will promote growth, the rise in interest rates mean that people are going to be paying hundreds of pounds more on their mortgage repayments every month if they need to get new debt or whatever it is. That is very, very bad for the economy. And so you have the government trying to accelerate the economy and the Bank of England trying to put a brake on the economy. And so clearly, when you have the economy moving in different directions, the engine of the economy risks burning out.
Right. And what could be done to contain the situation as the pound continues to take the pounding, if you will?
It's very, very difficult because Truss is now in a political problem, a real predicament, because she has staked her entire credibility, her entire political capital on these measures. And so if she U-turns on them, or if she kind of delays them, then she'll be seen as very weak and her party will get rid of her. But if she continues with them, if she sees them through, then the markets will take fright again. The UK will be seen as not a credible long-term investment, not so much an emerging market as a submerging market. And that could really dent Britain's economic prospectus for a generation or more. And so in a way, this is no longer just a political problem for Liz Truss, but a reputational and economic problem for the UK as a whole.
Jonathan, thank you very much for being with us and bringing us that analysis there.
Thanks.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.